Hi, Peter Charles here, folks, for fly fishing, and today we're going to do the Toothy Lake woolly bugger. It's another derivative of the woolly bugger pattern, and it's an interesting little pattern which I think will work for carp. It'll work for smallmouth, trout, variety of species. Probably do it in larger sizes as well for maybe largemouth bass, or you could use it smaller sizes for crappie. I think it all would work fine. So let's look at the materials we're using. Our hook today is a Camasan B175 heavy trout size in a size 4. This is a wet fly hook, and the same as the Mustad 3906B. Our thread is a Uni 3/0 in olive. Our tail is marabou, olive marabou. Could use a darker color here. I find that marabou gets dark when it gets wet anyway, so it's not a problem. The flash is going to be chartreuse fluorescent. The rib is Uni French gold. The hackle is going to be black, and we want it relatively long, so it fills out more than the average woolly bugger. The body is a yellow and black variegated chenille. The eyes are going to be yellow with a black center. You could also paint these on it as well if you wanted to. And to hold those on, we're going to be using some Danville monofilament to wrap those eyes on to keep them in place. So let's get started. I want to leave a fairly bushy tail here, so I'm going to leave it fairly long. I'm just going to wrap this back very quickly, because what we're going to do is use some of this marabou to function as just thickening up the body a little bit, making it a little bit bulkier. Okay, now we're going to put in the flashabou. I'll put in one side. I take this over and wrap it around the other side. So it's on both sides of the tail. And when I cut flashabou, I usually push it back and snip, so it's not squared off. It's kind of a ragged appearance. I feel that looks better. Now we're going to put in our ribbing, which is our small oval gold. And the idea behind this rib is to give the hackle some durability. Now we'll put in our hackle. Like I said, this is fairly long hackling, so the idea is to really bulk this fly up. It'll move well when, it's called a Toothy Lake pattern, so obviously it's intended for still water use. It's just one of the reasons why you want a bigger hackle when you're in still water, because you want that fly to have a lot of movement. And when you're fishing in rivers, of course, the current gives you that movement, but in still water, it's just the movement of the line that's going to do it. You're going to do the work and not the fish. Oh, sorry, not the current. Okay, let's wrap this chenille on. Now we're going to wrap it nice and tight together so it makes for a nice solid body. Nice and smooth. Don't be afraid to get it too close to the eye. We're going to cover it up with thread, and that adds some bulk to the head. We want that bulk in the head so we have room for the eyes. And the eyes will, have a place to the stick. There we go. As I say, normally we worry about creating bulk. In this fly, you want it. Okay, now to wind the hackle, we're going to start with a turn at the back, and then we're going to come forward If you see you're getting barbs trapped, just brush them out. Try to avoid that happening. You can see how heavily hackled this fly is going to be by the time it's finished. It's really a large hackled fly. Make sure you brush all those barbs back, all the stray barbs. As I say, don't worry about overdressing the head. That's not a worry on this fly. Now we're going to counterwind the rib. And you can wiggle your way through the barbs. That's usually enough to avoid trapping. If you find you're trapping barbs, though, what I would suggest is you just get your bodkin out and start picking the barbs out. Right now, I'm doing okay. Okay, I'm starting to trap a few there, so let's... The hackle's a little thicker at the front of the fly, so it's going to... This is going to be where it'll want to trap barbs. Okay, just pull all those barbs back, out of the way. So it's one stray that doesn't want to cooperate. When you're dealing with this much hackle, it's bound to be an issue where you get the odd barb that just wants to go forward. And just finish that head off. Hit finish. Now we're going to put on our eyes. We just use our bodkin to pick them off. Now to finish the one filament. And some UV glue. You could use regular head cement. You could use epoxy if you want. Okay, there's our Toothy Lake Woolly Bugger. I think this is really a cool pattern. I think it'll do great for smallmouth bass, even trout. Might work for carp too, you never know. I like the way the head and the eyes show up, really bright, and that heavy black hackling should really move well in current. So give it a try, the Toothy Lake Woolly Bugger. Cheers.